Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm Vince Revo, and today we're diving deep into a fascinating topic. Has America's path towards true conservative values and innovation just begun? And did Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party just waste $1 billion only to lose to Donald Trump? Let's get right in. Her spending has been exposed. First ever female president, she received resounding support from celebrities, among them Oprah Winfrey, who passionately supported the vice president and spoke at the DNC. Now, according to a report in Washington Examiner, Winfrey's company was paid $1 million by Harris' campaign. Oprah Winfrey's payment came after Harris appeared in a star-studded town hall with the former talk show host in September. Winfrey also appeared alongside the vice president on the eve of the election after giving Harris a rare presidential endorsement. According to Washington Examiner's report, Harris also forked out 6 figures to appear on the Call Her Daddy podcast. Those familiar with the matter told the Washington Examiner that the Harris campaign spent 6 figures on it, setting up the set. The interview came out in October and was reportedly filmed in a hotel room in Washington, D.C. $20 million in swing states just on the eve of the election. Alanis Morissette, but that was scrapped. It would have been even more. So she had concerts in all 7 swing states on Monday. Bon Jovi, Christina Aguilera, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, Philadelphia, rapper 2 Chainz in Atlanta 3 days before the election. Despite spending big on her campaign, Harris lost the popular vote, electoral vote, and all 7 swing states to Donald Trump. $1 billion raised versus Trump's $400 million. Harris failed to win the election, with Trump being elected the 47th president of the United States of America. They squandered their massive campaign edge. They did have a massive edge there. I don't think anybody can deny that.
Been talked about. Kamala Harris had a war chest of $1 billion. She outspent Trump 3 to 1, if not more. If Trump had that sort of money, there would have been a red wave that would have covered the entire country, including California. That is the fact that you could squander that sort of an advantage, all the good publicity you're getting from the media whilst Trump's just being slammed day after day, and still lose the landslide.
But it's also, James,
wow.
in a second.
Been on that there.
Sure, go ahead.
We've just had some revelations about who that money has gone to. Yeah. I've seen one list of filings. Apparently, Harper Productions, which is Oprah Winfrey, got $1 million. Yes. $1 million. They're campaign consultants who got paid hundreds of millions of dollars. They spent $100,000 to recreate the set of Call Me Daddy for that podcast she went on to do it in a hotel room. These people were not serious about looking after their money. You can only imagine what they do with the U.S. budget. But I mean, you can only imagine the number of campaign consultants who now have like yachts and weekend houses thanks to this campaign.
But I pick up absolutely. But I pick up on the point. Yes, of course, money is so important, and all these other things, the media and so on in politics. But people kept asking me even only a couple of weeks ago, why are you so certain that Donald Trump is going to win this election, let alone in a landslide? And my answer was always the same, because I trust the good intelligence and decency of the American people, as I do the Australian people, and that good will always triumph over evil. And I'm sorry, it sounds hyperbolic. Maybe I give myself a hyperbole award, but this is a pivotal moment in Western civilization where the goodness of Western civilization has triumphed over the evil that has been festering and growing up underneath it. And this is an absolutely critical line in the sand. We're now saying that this must stop. And it's critical for politicians, particularly like the coalition, to understand why Donald Trump won. And it wasn't about money, and it wasn't about polling figures. It was about the truth and authenticity.
And it was about standing for something and showing courage. Values. And that's what I'm going to be talking about after the break, about the personal price he was willing to pay.
Absolutely.
To run. But you talk about this changing things for the West, because there is a civilizational war. There are anti-West forces at work in the West and outside of the West. And this is a really bright period that's going to come, not just for the US, but
golden age.
Because you've got Trump 4 more years, but then you look at the talent pool that the Republicans have, young talent, Vivek Ramaswamy, J.D. Vance, Ron DeSantis, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. They've got talent, capable people who are electable. And that is could be a dynasty of Republican leadership that could transform the country for the better.
James, I said to some young kids the other day, you don't know how lucky you are. You're at the dawn of a great decade ahead of you, as we were in previous decades, which we all benefited from. And this generation now of youth who did so much to win the vote for Trump, they're now looking at a glorious period of prosperity and values that's so exciting for them, James.
And you know what? All I can do is urge Australia to get on board. You see what
Well, that was $1 billion down the drain for the Harris campaign. And how is that possible? I mean, normally you'll say, remember the golden rule. Whoever has the gold rules. But in this case, really, the American people have spoken up, and it is resounding all over the world. You know, the immense financial resources used in this political campaign to try and sway the public opinion is what now we've seen as a changing landscape in whether money can truly garner the kind of influence that it could before, and the celebrity impact as well. In Proverbs 11:4, it says, riches do not profit in a day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. But we have to know that while financial influence is significant, integrity and righteousness ultimately prevail in God's economy, in God's eyes. And while resources are important, genuine conservative values, I think, are being brought to the surface now, that the focus on integrity, on accountability of leaders urging the voters to discern beyond this financial and celebrity sway. The moral fabric of Western civilization, with the threat of moral decay and anti-Western values. It talks about the goodness of the Western civilization. And the truth is, we've seen time and time again that there is also evil in the Western civilization. While, yes, there is goodness as well in that, what we're seeing is really the goodness of God and God's hand on this election. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us that for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of the dark world. There is a spiritual battle looming above us, my friends. And conservatism and the champions of conservatism ultimately need to align with the champions of biblical values, because the importance of these Christian values grounded in Judeo-Christian ethics call on citizens of the world to stand firm against movements that erode these foundational truths and principles. Now, will this be a dynasty in the Republican Party? There's a good chance that it will. I think people are finally trying to speak up, starting to speak up. You know, Proverbs 29:2, when the righteous thrive, the people rejoice. And we certainly saw a lot of rejoicing in the United States of America when Donald Trump won. We see here that a government that upholds righteousness blesses its people, and good leadership honors God and strengthens the nation. We need leaders with a strong moral compass, and traditional values founded on the Word of God, founded on the Bible, are good for society. And I believe we have young leaders really rising up to that challenge. In 1 Timothy 4:12, it reads, don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. The youth have a powerful role in living out and influencing godly powers. Empowering our youth to embrace conservative biblical principles ensures a legacy of integrity, patriotism, and community responsibility. It is vital for the future of America and the future of the world. You know, as we see these advancements in technology and energy and solar, in AI, the U.S. is and has always been, at least since all of us have been alive, positioned in a significant way to spearhead peace and truth and order in this world. We have to recognize also, as James, the half-brother of Jesus, tells us in James 1:17, that every good and perfect gift is from above, reminding us that every blessing that the West has, the blessing from God, meant to serve one another and serve humanity. You know, innovation, when it's guided by biblical stewardship and biblical wisdom, has the potential to really benefit society at large, and society can progress responsibly and with accountability as well. In this time of pivotal change, the message is clear, my friends. Stand firm in faith, steward our resources well, and pursue righteousness at all costs. And as we look towards the future, let's remember that Christ is our ultimate champion, that he is our ultimate example of what servant leadership and sacrifice looks like. 2,000 years ago, he sacrificed himself for you and I, and that Jesus even today transforms lives, turning our struggles into strength, our questions into purpose, our messes into messages, and our pain into platforms for his glory alone.